Yung mga matindi ang pangangailangan dyan, yung mga kailangang seryoso na mag-aral, this video is for you. Pang varsity level to, okay? Hi guys! Today I'll finally show you how I study for real. Like, I'm gonna take you behind the scenes and share with you the system that I implement every single time I study. If you are new here, my name is Aura. I'm a doctor from the Philippines, and in this channel, I make videos for aspiring and surviving medical students. But this video is for all types of students. So I hope that by the end of this video, you'll get a few ideas and that you'll be inspired to create your own personalized system that you can trust and follow yourself. Like what I always say when it comes to studying or getting any important task done, you can't always rely on fleeting motivation to get started, right? You need to have discipline, which means you have to be backed by a sort of schedule or like guidelines or a rule book, a system that can help keep you organized and accountable. I learned this from one of my favorite YouTubers, Thomas Frank, and I recently found out that aside from what he shares on his channel and his podcast, which I love, he also has his own masterclass on productivity up on Skillshare. Skillshare is an online learning community with over 25,000 classes on design, business, tech, and productivity. And this is the class that I'm talking about. It's all about how to create your own personalized and custom productivity system that works. And I think you're gonna like this class. It's just an hour long, but it's very detailed and streamlined, and it has very actionable tips that you can apply right away. So maybe you want to try something new since summer is coming up and I'm sure you want to be productive. Use my link below so that you can get 2 months of free trial, no questions asked, no commitments. But if you do decide to extend like I did, then a premium membership will give you unlimited access to all the classes, and it's pretty affordable too. So I hope you find a class that will pick your curiosity, your creativity, or maybe even jumpstart your future career. So let me know which classes you pick, okay? Anyway, like I said, I'm going to show you how I study for real. So this is like my own masterclass. Well, back then, every time we have an exam and I have a study session the night before the exam, I just tell myself that, okay, this is the coverage, whatever happens, I won't sleep until I finish studying all this. And before I know it, it's like 3 a.m. and I'm still not done with the coverage and I'm so tired and I feel guilty because, I didn't finish. Well, I finally got to change that now, because now, what I do is, the first step is always to determine how long I'll be studying. It doesn't matter if it's 4 hours or 8 hours, because I know that it will be productive no matter what if I just fully commit to it. So yeah, that's the first step. Next is I make sure to eliminate all sources of distraction, or at least the most likely one, which is my phone. So I wish I could say that I don't need an app blocker because I have self-control, but it's just not true for me right now, or maybe not ever. So I use this app called Digital Detox. It's free for Android. And also for my laptop, it's a MacBook, so I use self-control. They're both free, both very efficient. And at least I still get to keep some apps on whitelist, meaning I can still access them when I need to if it's really super important. So yeah, if you know anything for iOS or for Windows laptops, let me know in the comments below so you can help others too. Next is, ito na yung totoong structure. I get a piece of paper, and what I do is I write down my intended schedule for that study session. Keyword intended, okay? So on that paper, I write down the times wherein I will be studying. So 30 minutes per study cycle, and then followed by a 5-minute break. Next is another 30 minutes, followed by this time a 10-minute break. So for example, if I decide I'll study for 6 hours that day, then I'll fill in my schedule from 6 p.m. For example, I'll start studying at 6 p.m. From 6 p.m. to 12 midnight, I plot my schedule. So now that it's written down, I just start studying right away. And I use my phone to serve as the timer. Or if it's on my laptop, I can also use the Be Focused app, which is my Pomodoro app. Once I accomplish a cycle, I make sure to highlight it on my piece of paper, and for some reason that's just so encouraging. And when it comes to my breaks, here's another technique. On my timer, I always just time it at 4 minutes or 9 minutes instead of 5 or 10. And the reason for that is, when the time is up, I want to have time to finish whatever I'm doing, get back to my seat, and get comfortable again. And also, I make sure to write down on this blank part here whatever I did during that break. Again, seeing it written down makes me feel like okay, good. I'm not depriving myself that there's a time for work and a time for play, and I get to balance it both, and it's so empowering. Pampalubag loob yan, guys. Like, ito, pruweba, okay, na nag-break time ka, nagawa mo yung gusto mo, now you get to go back to studying again. So yeah, that's just my own personal technique, and I found that it's very, very encouraging for me every time I see things written down. It's like I'm following a structure. Trust me, there's nothing more rewarding than seeing that your time is up. Like, for example, you studied for 6 hours that day, and you realize that, wow, those were 6 solid hours, and I did not procrastinate, and I have a little paper to prove it. And even if you don't finish the coverage, at least you know that you gave it your all. You did not procrastinate. You won't feel guilty that you were like petiks for a while there, no. There's no hard and fast rule. It doesn't have to be 30 minutes per study session. If you can't do that, then start with 15 minutes. That's fine. And if you're an expert already, maybe you can sit down for an hour and take 10-minute breaks in between. I'm just saying that it's important to have a structure so that you have something to follow. And make sure that that structure is customized for you. You don't have to copy whatever your classmate is doing, whatever I'm doing. I'm just here as a guide, okay? And for me, for some reason, not that I'm bragging, ever since I started doing this, I almost always finish the coverage already. Why? Because when I'm running against a clock, when I know that there's a deadline, I tend to feel the sense of urgency and I work faster and I don't slack off. So it's a win-win for me. But you know, I still get distracted sometimes, I still get lazy or go way over the break time. But with experience, I just learned to readjust and be flexible despite this rigid-looking structure. Guys, hindi ako ganun ka-type A, okay? Like, I don't always follow the sked by the minute. Sometimes, I go over my study time, and sometimes I go over my break time, and I just tell myself that it's okay. I'll just do better on the next cycle, and I'll just readjust as needed. But I still try to stay as close to this structure as possible. And also when I'm in the middle of studying and I suddenly get distracted by anything important or pretending to be important, I have to email back this person, or I have to finalize my plans. I have to buy this or do that or tell this person this, whatever. It all seems so important. Maybe it is, but it's not the most important thing right now, right? So what I do is I get a piece of paper and I write all those distractions down on my distractions list. Yeah, I tell you, there's a paper for everything. So it's like saying that, okay, you're important, I'm recognizing you, I'm not denying you, but I will attend to you later and I won't forget because I wrote you down in this list. Yeah, so that's how I deal with important distractions. Now, what if I'm on a break and I'm super enjoying that break that I don't feel like going back to studying anymore? I know that happens to all of us, especially if you're doing the Pomodoro technique. So what I do to deal with that is I just tell myself, remind myself that I don't have to feel like studying for me to actually go back to studying. That's probably just a small moment of weakness or katamaran that I won't give in to, because I know that once I just sit down there and start studying again, then I will just continue that. And also to avoid feeling that way, I make sure to say this out loud each time I finish a break. And you can say this too. Say it out loud. Thank you for that break. Thank you for giving yourself some me time. Now, you get to study again. Remember, it's not you have to go back to studying. It's better to say, I get to study again. And it makes all the difference. That statement alone is so powerful. If you reached this part of the video, comment with today's hashtag and I will know and I will love you. And thank you again to Skillshare for sponsoring this video. Guys, sign up and let me know which classes you pick. It's free. You can just cancel your membership if you don't find it valuable, but trust me, you probably will. Thank you so much for watching, and thank you for always taking the time to leave comments. That's why I make sure to reply to, because I really appreciate you guys interacting and making this a small, fun community. That's it. I'll see you on my next video. Bye, guys.